Hi, this is Christian Vance, and in this tech tip, I'm going to be showing a little bit about drum grouping and effects in a drum rack in Ableton. And the great thing is about this is to have control over not only individual elements of your drum rack, but grouped elements of your drum rack, being able to give them their own effects outside of the general mix that you've got going on. Is a really handy tool, not only in terms of production, but it can be a very, very handy creative tool as well. So what I've done is I've dropped and dragged a drum rack, this Kit 909 Myrtle, onto here. And in a previous tech tip, I actually showed a little bit about panning. So what I've done is I panned it to my own taste and created an even deeper stereo field with panning some different drums there. I've got the kick 2 playing a 909 sound for the drums, for the kick drum here. And the best way to start this is to open the whole kit up just with this little arrow here. Let's have a listen to the pattern. And let's just solo a few of the instruments so we can hear. Okay, now as you can see it says kick, rim, snare, clap, blah, blah, blah. We're not going to use the kick in this instance, so let's just mute that completely out of the picture. Then what I want to do is group similar types of instruments together. Instruments that pretty much, they're in the same frequency spectrum. So hi-hats, rides, and cymbals would go into a higher one. Toms can actually exist in different spectrums, but because they have the same sound and they actually have their own tone and pitch, I tend to group them together. And the snare and the clap, which you really want to punch and compress sometimes, I group them together as well. So let's start by putting let's read which tom is which here. Got the low tom. Let's put all the toms down here. And that'll be the high one. And make that smaller again, mid to high. And let's put the snare and the clap together. And in this instance, I'm going to actually keep the rim separate. We can have it up here. And hi-hat, crash, and ride together. Now, very simple and really logical, but I'm going to group these together like this, and they become their own mini drum rack within a drum rack. So let's call that one toms. Snare and clap I would like to group together, so do that. Rename it. We could even call it mid-frequency punch, and that will be in this color. All the hi-hats together with the crash and the ride. Let's make it a light color. Group it together, and we can call that one highs, and we can keep the rim separate over here. And it also creates an interesting thing if you're doing any sort of live edits or you're just playing around and you're experimenting, you now have a mute function not only on each individual track and instrument, but actually on the grouping. So let's have a listen. Pretty simple stuff, but really good. And further down the track, when you're trying to mix down your song and all your ideas, you've got these grouped together and they're occupying a certain element of your mix that is very similar to each other in this instance. So apart from all that, we can expand it. Have a look here. There's the other thing that you can see is the return track. So let's forget about these main return tracks. Let's delete them for now. But over here you've got reverb. Let's give it a really bright color so we can see it. And we can duplicate a few of those effects and just click into it, create a slightly different color for each effect there. And what we can do here is go in and erase and change each effect as we want, and put whatever effect we want in there. And as you can see here with the sends on the highs, you can affect each grouping separately, which comes in super handy.
Thanks everybody for watching, commenting, and indeed liking. We really do appreciate all the support we get here on our Sonic Academy YouTube channel. So if you found this video super useful, please, we'd love you to hit the subscribe button. We update the YouTube channel every week with new content. And if you want to watch some more relevant content, just click on the videos beside me.